Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Delicious in Dungeons Season 1, Episode 17. So, last time we kind of had a big chat between the kind of three groups that have come together at this point. Kabru's group, our main group with Laios, and then Shuro's group. That was his name, right? I hope I got it right. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yep. Shuro's group. And they pretty much all the cards are on the table, even the fact that they use black magic to bring back Fallen and everything. And Kabru doesn't seem like he has. I think he found out about the black magic right at the end of the episode, right? But he seemed like this is interesting. But he's kind of flip flop from like, oh, this is a problem to like, oh, this is interesting. And so far, he's just been kind of like listening and taking it in. But I don't know, he had this idea of like, I want to be the one to take the dungeon, and he was worried that Laios wasn't going to be a fit leader to do it if that's what he was trying to do. But now he kind of knows that Laios doesn't really care about that. So will Kabru care about trying to like stop or take down kind of like his goals were Laios, or will he just kind of like let Laios do his thing because he just cares about saving his sister? I don't know. But I guess we'll see how everyone responds to everything they've heard and what they do. Do they split up? Do they work together or whatever? So let's get started here, guys. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. A Netflix series. Right into the opening. Delicious in Dungeon. Dungeon Meshy. It's a big old wolfie. Big old doggy. That's a big lady. The second half is when they get cooked. I think season 2 of this is out now too, right? If anything, like a good chunk of the episodes are out. So that means, I mean, we still got a ways to go before or a good bit to go before we're done season 1, but we'll be able to jump right into season 2. And I think that's the final season, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's, all the story they have to tell. It's fun seeing Senshi with his hat off. He looks like a badass. He's pissed about the black magic. Mm-hmm. Shuro's realizing that he's disagreeing with Kabru. That it would be better just to let her die, you know? He's just very passionate about the dungeon, man. Uh-oh. Not the time to ask if you're getting attacked! Oh my god, the animation. No, no. They fought Senchi's golems. I'm guessing that's what they are. Maybe they're not his. Hmm. He doesn't really have like the moral compass to know what he was doing was. Oh my god, that's creepy. Oh my god, they have titties. Oh my god. Why is the one human part of them the boobs? And kind of the face a little bit, I guess. So they're just sitting here chatting while the harpy their group is just fighting the harpies. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh shit. Oh no, it's fallen. God damn it. Damn. Well, man, she beat like three of them, holding one. The other one got thrown down, and then the other girl's being. Oh my god. Elias thinking it's cool, of course he does. Oh, the goopy sound. Uh. Ah! Well, I don't think they're gonna try and. Oh no. Oh no. Damn. Oh shit. What is this? Oh, is it an Undine? I mean, we can res people, but. Damn. Yep. We recognize what that is. Damn. How do they control it? Oh, still using magic. Oh, they had a name for it. Oh. No, don't hurt the doggy. It's a crazy looking thing. It's less. It's got like four legs and stuff. It's not quite chickeny, but it's got like kind of like the chicken feathers. Oh shit! It's like a dragon chicken. Uh, damn, we have to cut her down. Oh, damn, of course. Was it just a ploy? Oh shit! Damn! Damn, Kabru! Jeez, his signature. Oh shit. His signature approach of just freaking. Oh. Hmm. That's a fair point. Anyone who's fought the dragon. Oh shit. Well, he just got mushed. Oh god. We got feathery titties now. Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh! I think Rin just got impaled. God damn. This is like a legitimate boss fight right now. Oh, is she just leaving for now? Yep, look at Rin. Jesus. Okay. Luckily he lived. Oh my god, look at that cut in his head. Oh. Yeah. Hmm. Ah, scared of her black magic. Yeah, it's the Lord of the Dungeon. Merge. That's not good. Damn. Oh shit. Yeah. Well, I was just talking about how Laius doesn't have the goal to become the Lord of the Dungeon, but now I guess he kind of does. Oh shit! Damn! Went from a slap to a punch. Oh, yeah, sometimes guys just gotta punch one out. What? Oh, well. Another punch. He is pretty careless. Mmm. Laios has a point. Ah, just pulling his hair! Oh my god, they're just... they're just watching this. Three missing. Oh, Marcel. Nice. Oh, creepy titty lady harpy things. Senchi just gathering ingredients while getting attacked. Oh my god, he's covered in blood. They're just still punching each other. You want to eat? You're gonna find out that there's like monster in it or something in some way. Maybe not. Bye. Uh-huh. What? Jeez. Oh. Oh. So he proposed, or at least, like, I don't know, I don't know if it was like a wedding proposal or anything, but at least a proposal to go back to his country, maybe. No. Oh, so maybe. Okay, never mind. So he did propose, but didn't tell her how he feels about her, I guess. Ah, that I envy. Hmm. Hmm. Damn. Maybe just ask him. I bet he'd answer. Harpy egg omelet. Should try it. Oh. Maybe I could just kill him. So he eats it. Is he gonna like it though? Oh, we didn't get to see his reaction. Oh my god. I guess she is a big girl. A lot of rice. Oh. Oh wow. Damn. Wow. Okay. I didn't think he'd help him out like that. That's so cool. I love their return spells. Yeah, just back to our little group again. Okay. Well, we just continue on. That is, well, I guess I usually watch the credits, so I'll let the credits go. Even though there's usually not anything after in this show, but just in case. But we'll start talking about this episode because we had the attack from Fallen or whatever. They talked about how it seems like Marcel's opinion is that when she used the meat from the dragon, there was some kind of like curse put on the dragon's soul that made it merge with Fallen's soul, and now they're mixed. And in order to save her, Laios came to the conclusion that we need to beat the Mad Mage to get rid of the control, and then use black magic, use that dungeon control to separate the souls, hopefully, and save Fallen. So, but obviously we had our disputes with the characters after the fight and everything, and I'll talk more about that as we go. So, pretty dark that Shuro was just like Asabi, like one of their party members, was missing. And they're just like, oh, if she wants to come back, she'll find a way. And it's like, what? Damn. Like, I mean, I guess I don't know the relationship. I know they're all like kind of followers of him, right? But that is it, guys, for episode 17. But yeah, I mean, I guess they all follow him. They're all like his, like, he's like some kind of royalty kind of thing, and they're kind of like his. I guess they're just a little more expendable to him than I thought they would be. So, or maybe he just has that much faith in Asebi's ability to survive and handle herself, you know? Maybe he just knows that she'll be fine and doesn't need to go look for her. I don't know. But yeah, just to get it out of the way, the harpies with these like bird people with titties was very creepy for sure. I did not like that. It was just like they were like, so did they, I've never really seen anime that isn't marked with like the hentai tag actually show titties, right? Did they get away with it because they were on like a monster? They never really showed too many like zoomed in shots of it. It was a lot of like far away stuff, and it wasn't necessarily for like sexual purposes. Is that why? I mean, I guess they've always had the nudity tag on Netflix, right, for this show ever since the beginning. But yeah, I did not expect it. It was super awkward. But anyway, so I just figured I'd talk about that. Pretty cool that one dude had an Undine under his control. I wonder, is that a spell that allows him to control an Undine? Or was it like an agreement he somehow made with it, right? But it even had like a name and everything. But it put in some work. It did some damage to Fallen. Those Undines are no joke. So the fight was cool, and obviously like the difficulty of our main group who knew Fallen and like hesitation to fight, but then Laios tried to save Kabaru and said like, okay, we just need to like get out of here, because he had a good point. If they kill it, the Mad Mage is gonna come and be angry about it. That was the whole part of the Red Dragon before, right? That's why the Mad Mage showed up the time before, and that's the whole reason the orcs never fought and killed the dragon, is because it's supposed to be off limits. So he kind of had a point about running away, but then immediately Kabaru just got like stomped, and Laios was like, sorry, I hesitated, and stuff like that. But Kabaru, like, his group was like underwhelming how easily they gotten defeated, just like off camera. Suddenly this group is dead, like, it made me think less of their group. But then Kabaru just has these moves sometimes, like when he killed the corpse collectors, and then right there where he just like, suddenly appeared behind Fallen and just like slit her throat and stabbed her in like several different vital organs. It was like he's very efficient when he goes to kill, but I guess he's not always strong enough to win the fights, I suppose. Um but yeah, we also had Laios being kind of like talking to him about Fallen afterwards and being all like cheery, like, "Oh, your fight actually gave me some good information." You know, Laios definitely is a weird character. The more and more we've seen of him, I mean, I noticed it early on with how excited he was about like eating monsters and all that, but then it slowly translated into like the incredibleness of like even just seeing people like die to monsters. He's almost like, "Oh, that's how it works." And I think it's like, and even when it comes to his sister, you know, he's talking about like these like different organs and everything that, you know, they could maybe hit to be able to kill her fully. And he's talking about killing his sister and how his, you know, well, he's not really talking about killing his sister, but he's trying to understand how she works. But I liked Kabru's being like he's strong, but he's not the strongest that's come and adventured these dungeons. But he's made it this far, and Kabur truly believes that he might be able to defeat the Mad Mage because he has this passion about it, right? Like he analyzes. He's kind of like Midoriya from My Hero Academia, studying superheroes, and is able to like translate that knowledge into his fighting and everything. That's like what Laios does. He just loves the dungeons. He's analyzing all the monsters, figuring out their weaknesses, how to eat them, how to, you know, fight them, how to use them, and all that stuff. So that passion is very interesting and contagious, because it makes me just like not as like, oh no, this is terrible, they have to fight Fallen, but because of Laios' personality in regards to it, like he was so cheery about the whole thing that it didn't make me feel as bad that they're fighting her, right? It's kind of contagious the way that he feels. But Kabru decided to go back to the surface for now. He seems to have gotten everything he wanted from like one of his goals was to interact with Laios, right? He wanted to learn more about him and everything. And I mean, he was worried about Laios defeating the Mad Mage before, and he didn't think Laios was like leader material. But now he thinks that he might be able to do it, and he left him to do it. Granted, he did wonder, like, what is he going to do when he has that power? Like, is he going to seal off the dungeon? Like, and it sounds like the way Kabru spoke of it, they don't even know if you necessarily get the power, right? Like, he said, like, you're supposed to, the rumor is you gain control of the country. But I think Kabru said something in here where he was like, does that mean that you gain the power of the dungeon as well? Like, it seemed like Kabru was still questioning how that all worked. I wonder, can I find where it was before the bell scene, before they all started leaving, right? I'm not sure I necessarily know where it was. It was before he offered him the food, right? Maybe it was right here. Is said to obtain the entire country. But what if that means that person becomes the next lord of the dungeon? So, like, you defeat the Mad Mage, you're said to gain the whole country, but it seems like he was questioning the idea. Like, before it seems like they talked about it as if it was, like, a guaranteed thing, right? Like, you defeat the Mad Mage, you gain control of the dungeon. It sounded like it was an absolute. It sounded like that's just the way it was. But here it sounds more like Cover's questioning it. Like, what if the next person becomes a Lord of the Dungeon? What will this man do when he's in possession of this country? Built by black magic and all of these monsters. Will he seal away this dungeon without a word? Yeah, and then we kind of like, but whatever it was, he decided, I mean, he did say, like, we'll meet you again. So maybe that could be, like, taken as, like, a threatening thing of, like, maybe he does think about this and decides that Laios isn't the one to do this and comes back. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, that covers most of the Kaworu and Laios stuff I wanted to talk about. I want to talk a lot about the Shuro stuff now. I haven't touched base on that because I have a lot to say in that regard. I do kind of like them just having like a fist fight. You know, sometimes two dudes just like communicate better by punching the shit out of each other, you know? Like, not that I condone any kind of violence and I don't really get into any fist fights, but I can appreciate in TV shows when like two people are having an argument and it just helps them like reveal the not reveal release their like tension by punching each other and stuff like that. Like, I get it. I do. So there's something very like primal about that, but also the way they talk to each other. One of the biggest things I want to make sure I talk about is the way Shuro talked about how Laios annoyed him, and then when he came out loud and said it, finally, Laios said, well, why didn't you tell me? And that's the big thing that I want to talk about. Not everyone is, you know, like Shuro said, just get better at reading the room, but not everyone is good at reading the room. Not everyone can tell they're being annoying, and this is something in our friend group we try to do the best we can, is if we're getting annoyed by something a member of our friend group is doing, we try to talk to that person, not too publicly, not with like everyone else in the chat and stuff, but we'll like send them a message and say like, hey, like, you doing this or acting this way is kind of like rubbing us the wrong way. Could you try not to do that in the future? You know, and most of the time the person is like, oh yeah, sorry about that. It's happened with me. There's been some things I've done in my friend group in the past, this was like years ago at this point, that was annoying the group, and I was told about it, and I didn't realize what I was doing was annoying, and I stopped doing it, you know? Sometimes that's all someone needs, is to just be, like, rather than what Shuro did, where he's just like, I'm gonna leave because you're annoying, Laios, instead of telling him what he did wrong so he can try to fix his personality, not fix his personality, that's not the right way to word it, but try to adhere to the way that Shuro felt and stuff like that. Like, instead, Shuro just left. And I mean, we've had that before where like we've had to kick people from our Discord group and everything just because they didn't really fit like the type of people we were, and it was so much of their personality. Like, we would have had to ask them to change almost everything about themselves, and that's not what I'm talking about, right? I'm saying, like, specific instances, like, where majority of the time you get along with the person, but there's one little thing that they do that's annoying, right? That's something where you can, like, touch base with them and try to fix it. There's the other situation where, you know, we kind of picked up the term culture fit, where essentially they're just not really fit for our friend group, you know? There's a few people that are still a part of our group that get on every now and then, and they're very, like, a lot of our group is just chill, fun gamers, like, laid back, playing games and everything, but occasionally we have some people that join that are just very cocky and overconfident and love to, like, talk shit to each other. And when they get on, they're like talking all kinds of shit to us, and it's like, that's not the kind of Discord we are. And most of the time we just accept those people because they don't get on very often. But it becomes a problem when they're on constantly and it becomes like a toxic environment and stuff like that. So it's just one of those things where you gotta figure out what's the best way to take it and things like that. But anyway, I got derailed by my own stuff. My point is in this is that I'm on the side of Laios here, where I think Shuro should have said something. Like, sure, Laios could get a little better at reading the room, but if you're just gonna try to give like subtle cues of your annoyance and just hope someone picks it up, and then when they don't, you just leave the group, like, I don't think that's like a good way for a group of people to operate, right? You should feel comfortable being able to say, like, hey, you know, can you... But then, like, there's also the idea that towards the end, Shuro said he was envious, too. So So maybe it wasn't necessarily that Laios was annoying him. Maybe it was that Shuro didn't have the passion that Laios had, and that like envied him. You know, like Shuro seemed to be maybe a bit more of an introverted person. He didn't seem like he wasn't able to say his feelings to Fallen at all. Like it seems like he made some kind of proposal. I don't know if it was a marriage proposal or if it was a proposal of like, hey, come home with me, you know. Um, but it seemed kind of like the way like the two guys were talking, Chilchuck and I can't remember the other guy's name. Um, it seemed like it was like a marriage proposal. So he never even said like, "Hey, I really like you." He just said like, "Hey, will you marry me?" You know, and sure, maybe that's how they do things on their like out east or whatnot. But and that's fine if that is. But Shuro definitely seemed like he talked quieter. He kind of like mumbled a bit, and a lot of those are signs of like an introverted personality that doesn't handle conversing with people super well. And what's it called? And Laios being like very extroverted, seemingly. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but Laios very outgoing. You know, he has this like very vibrant personality where he gets excited about everything, whereas Shuro seems to be like the complete opposite. But I kind of felt bad for Laios being like, I thought I had my first friend and everything. Like, of course I'm excited. And I kind of feel bad because Laios is like saying like, "Oh, you were my first friend," and Shuro's over here like, "I hated you the whole time," you know. And it's like that's like the worst feeling is when you feel like you're really getting along with someone and then you find out that they just hate you. Like, oh man. But anyway, um, yeah, we had kind of like the original plan for Shuro, which he was like, I'm just gonna I'm taking Marcel and I'm bringing her to the elves. She's gonna confess everything. Maybe the elves will have a way to separate the souls, and then I'll be back, and whatever happens to Marcel happens. For using black magic. That was kind of his original plan, which seems to have gotten amended. And now, instead of going after Fallen, he's just giving up. He's just going home, which is kind of shocking after, like, with how much he seems to care about her. But I guess once again, he seems to be some kind of leader in his homeland. So maybe he did his best to try to save her. He doesn't know what else to do without giving up Marcel and stuff like that. So rather than trying to stay around Laios, who he's not the biggest fan of. Maybe he's a little jealous of him, and stuff like that. Instead, he's just gonna go home and move on. So, yeah, it's kind of too bad, but honestly, that seems to be a very grown up and realistic approach to the situation, in my opinion. Like, a lot of shows don't go that route. A lot of the shows are like, I'm gonna save her no matter what. Like, it goes hard on that passion of saving that one specific person because that's the only person in the world for him. But no, he's just like, oh, I'll just find someone else, like I'll probably find love again. It's possible. So yeah, pretty intense conversation, and they all took off, and now we're just back to our little group again, just traversing the dungeon. So their original plan was to go back to the surface to recover, but that they should have just gone through there if they wanted to do that, right? Which means I guess their plan is to stay in the dungeon. I guess they're just gonna keep eating, recover, maybe take it slow for like a day or something or so they can heal up. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, we got that bell, which is kind of like a gun on the mantle. Like if things get serious, if he can't leave the dungeon because of like the black magic and everything, surprisingly, with how much Shuro seemed to, obviously we had Shuro lighten up on Laios at the end there, but he still left and didn't stay, you know? So I guess, is it just the responsibilities he has that's keeping him from staying? Or is it just that he can't agree with Laios' methods, so he feels like he has to leave? But he's just like, it seems like he's just giving up and going all the way home, and just like wiping his hands off of the whole situation. But it's interesting that he came around on Laios enough that, like, if you ring this bell, I'll come and, give you passage to the east, and you can just live in my country. So, I don't know. It's certainly an interesting dynamic, and I wonder if Shuro will show up again. And I guess he might not, but if he did, I'd be interested to see more of that relationship. Now that everything is more out in the open and all that, I'd love to really see what like how their relationship goes forward, because I'm kind of surprised that he'd help him like that with that bell. So, but anyways, yeah, that's going to be it from me, guys. Very interesting episode. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more. 2 episodes ahead through the early access tier. There's also Patreon shows where I watch entire shows on my Patreon before releasing them to YouTube, so you can get a lot of extra content on there. Links in the description should be popping up on the screen, and I will see you in my future reactions. Bye-bye.